by Duracell. No regular battery looks like it or lasts like it. Hello again, everybody. I'm Stan Savran. My partner George Paterno and I welcome you to College Football 83. These messages, you are watching College Football 83 on the USA Network. West Virginia, undefeated and ranked in the top 5 in the country, take on the Penn State Nittany Lions. You can cut the tension with a knife. This is the biggest game in the East thus far. The West Virginia Mountaineers, with a record of 6-0, have won the toss. They have elected to receive. Penn State will kick off and will have the wind at their back, and it is a substantial wind, 15 to 20 miles per hour. The referee, Vincent Price. That may not bode well for someone a week before Halloween. Ronald Clages, Gene Soucy, John Tierney, Gene Sterator, George Marocha, and Dan Sullivan are the officials for today's game. Again, the wind will be a factor. It is blowing from right to left on your screen, and it is 15 to 20 miles per hour and is expected to be present the entire game. Greg Montgomery, the freshman, will kick off. Willie Drury, number 48 on the near side. He is averaging 36 yards per kick return. Gary Mullins will be on the far side, the top of your screen. He is averaging 21 yards per kick return. But again, Greg Montgomery for Penn State will be kicking with a strong wind at his back. It has been a long time for West Virginia. They have not beaten Penn State since 1955. Montgomery's kick will be returned. Mullen at his 3. To the 10. And he's hit at the 15 and stopped at the 15-yard line. Making the tackle for Penn State, freshman linebacker Bob Otko. So the Mountaineers will start out first and 10 at their own 15-yard line. We should mention, George, both teams have exceptional kicking games.
Yes, well, you have two great field goal kickers in Woodside from West Virginia and Gansitano from Penn State, and that could be the deciding factor late in the game.
Jeff Hostetler, the quarterback. King Harvey, the tailback. Ron Wolfley, the fullback. First down and 10. Harvey hit in the backfield and dropped for a 4-yard loss at the 11-yard line. Scott Caraher, starting at right defensive tackle, number 77, burst through to drop King Harvey. Wayne Brown and Rich Hollins are the wideouts. Rob Bennett has taken over nicely from Mark Rao at tight end. Across the front, Brian Joswiak, Scott Barrows, Bill Legg, Dave DeJarnett, and Kurt Keel, the offensive front. West Virginia facing a passing down on second down and 14 from their own 11-yard line. Receivers split either side. And now, Hostetler is going to call for a timeout. You can see he had some difficulty with the formation, and so he calls a timeout. With a timeout in the action, just underway in the first quarter, the score, Penn State nothing, West Virginia nothing. We'll be back right after this.
Quick fake to the inside. He got the ball in the money. This is what happens sometimes when you try to get extra yards. Mullen spun again, and the ball flipped loose, and Sidney was there for the first big break of the game.
Defensive end Bob White was the man who hit him and forced him to give up the ball, so Penn State gets the first break of the game. They have it at the 44-yard line of the Mountaineers after the Mullen fumble. And a slot to the right and a wing to the right. Strang in trouble. He throws to the sideline, caught by Kevin Bow. Inside the 25 and down to the 23-yard line. Looked like Strang was going to roll and run, but he found Bow on the sideline. Linebacker Van Richardson made the tackle.
Well, they had 3 receivers to the short side of the field. He ran a bootleg action to the fullback. Kevin Bow was the inside receiver, just did a little turnout. Strang did a great job getting away from the defensive end and made the completion.
That is Bow's 20th catch of the year. He is averaging better than 15 yards per reception. Big gain of 21 yards for Penn State. First down and 10, they're lined up in the I. And John Williams is starting at tailback, not DJ Dozier. Strang, a lot of time, looking over the middle, and it is caught by the tight end Domidio, and he is inside the 15, down near the 12, and close to a first down. Van Richardson again making the tackle. Domidio, the sophomore tight end, his 12th catch of the year.
Great play by the quarterback, Strang. Can't find anybody. Waits to Domidio, gets loose behind the linebacker, makes the completion. Domidio makes a nice spin, gets up close to the first down. Oh, there it is again. Let's take another look at it. Now watch the spin by Nittany that gave him enough yardage to make that big first down.
He's got it at the 13-yard line. The gain is slightly more than 10. Single back offense. In motion is Jackson, who is operating on a sprained knee. This is Mumford. Right tackle, the 10, the 5, and down inside the 5 here, another first down, close to the 3-yard line. Dave Preston, the middle linebacker, made the tackle. But Tony Mumford picks up near 10 yards. They may call for a measurement here.
Stan, Penn State has West Virginia's defense a little confused. They're putting 3 people to one side, short side. That time they put Jackson in motion, forcing some man-on-man, linebacker move. They gave the ball to Mumford on a quick slant. He broke it, almost took it all the way down to about the 3.5 yard line.
It's a gain of 9. It'll be second down and 1 as Penn State lines up in a power eye right. John Williams, the deep man in that eye. This is Williams in trouble. He will lose yardage at the 4-yard line. So now Penn State, with second and less than a yard, will have third and about 1.5 yards. Mike Scott, the cornerback, came up strong to make the tackle. It'll be third down and 1.5 yards for a first down.
Well, they were in a power eye that time, and they just ran a power play off tackle. West Virginia defended it very well, stacked up, no gain. Penn State's in a crucial situation here because they still can make a first down.
You're thinking about momentum. Penn State wants the touchdown. West Virginia would be satisfied to get out with a field goal. Third and 1.5 yards. This is Nichols in motion. Strang keeps it himself. He's got the first down at the 2-yard line. One of the few times this year, George, Penn State has showed an option.
And it's a great play down here in the goal line situation. Puts an awful lot of pressure on the corner people. Strang ran it perfectly. Split backfield option play. They pull a guard. He can make a first down. He puts his head down, turns up, gets hit by AG number 44, Preston number 37. Here's another angle. That's smart football. Get that first down, especially when you're inside the 5-yard line.
Ball is just inside the 2. DJ Dozier, the spectacular freshman, was hurt against Syracuse. He was hurt again in practice this week, but we do expect him to play. First and goal from the 2-yard line. Power eye right. Nichols, or rather Mumford, near the goal line. He'll be short. It'll be second down and goal from inside the 1-yard line. Steve Hathaway, one of the linebackers, number 45, made the initial play. Mumford, on the season, has been a very productive runner, 248 yards, averaging 5 yards per carry. He has not yet this year scored a touchdown.
Well, this is the situation when Dozier was in there. He always did the Sam the Bam Cunningham leap. We might see him in the game real short, but Penn State's in a great position to put the ball in the end.
Second down and goal. Out of the power eye to the split backs. Strang, quarterback sneak. Did he get in? No, I do not believe he did. It'll be third down and inches from the goal line. So once again, it'll be a crucial third down play for Penn State near the goal line.
That ball it's about, I'd say, 2 inches to go, Stan. You might see him repeat the quarterback sneak, going over his strongest blockers.
Across the front for Penn State, Ron Heller, Todd Moles, Nick Hayden, Dick McGinnis, and Stan Short. Third down and inches. Quarterback sneak, touchdown, Penn State. Doug Strang on the quarterback sneak, completing a 44-yard drive, and Penn State, taking advantage of the West Virginia fumble, has broken on top.
Well, they did come back with the quarterback sneak. It was only a question of inches. As long as he got the ball across the plane of the goal line, he got in. Let's see. Decides to go over his left guard, short. Took it in for the touchdown. But the significant factor of that is, Stan, they got a break and they made it productive.
Well, Nick Hayden really blew out Dave Preston, number 38, the linebacker, to clear the way. Gansitano to attempt the extra point. He is 15 out of 17. He's now 16 out of 18 as Gansitano converts. 9 minutes, 20 seconds to play in the first quarter. A timeout in the action. The score, Penn State 7, West Virginia nothing. West Virginia with Willie Drury and Gary Mullen back deep. Montgomery to kick. High, deep, Mullen, 6 yards deep, will stay there. And West Virginia will take the touchback and start out first and 10 at their own 20-yard line. The Mountaineers in their first possession move for 1 first down, then fumble. Penn State moving 44 yards in 9 plays. Doug Strang on a quarterback sneak scored the touchdown. Gancitano added the extra point to give Penn State a 7-0 lead. We only played about 5.5 minutes, George. Have we seen anything necessarily indicative that's a portent of things to come throughout this game?
Again, Penn State trying to run the football, which we said at the top of the show. They ran and they set up the touchdown and they got in.
Single back is Ron Wolfley behind Hostetler. This is Wolfley, the fullback, gets a couple across the 20 and out to the 23. Steve Sefter, left defensive end, number 41, made the tackle for Penn State. Ron Wolfley is kind of the unsung man on the Mountaineer offense. 349 yards, 4.8 per carry, and he has scored 3 touchdowns. The tailback is Pat Randolph, a freshman. He is starting ahead of King Harvey, a junior. Randolph is a freshman from Folsom, PA, near Philadelphia. 6'1", 195 pounds. He's averaging 4.5 per carry. Second down and 7. Now Randolph will move out in a wide receiver. They have a slot left as Hostetler goes back to throw. Over the middle, wide open is Bennett, the tight end. He's got a first down at his own 39-yard line. 16-yard gain on the completion from Jeff Hostetler to Rob Bennett. Mike Zordich made the tackle, and Rob Bennett looks like he hurt his hand on the shot by Mike Zordich.
Well-designed play. They had one back offense, spread Penn State's defense, and Hostetler really drills this one to the big tight end, right up in that little seam. Big first down.
Bennett, who has 11 receptions on the year, taken out of the game. Junior from Buchanan, West Virginia. A first down and 10. Mountaineers. This is Wolfley. Big hole up the middle. And only an ankle tackle by Steve Sefter prevented him from getting more than he did. It's a 6-yard gain for Wolfley to bring up second down and 4 yards to go.
You know, Stan, Wolfley's what you call a bread and butter player. He's not sensational. Doesn't make a lot of big runs, but he'll get 4, he'll get 5. He blocks very well, and he'll catch the ball when you throw it. Hostetler came into this game completing 55.9% of his passes for 7 touchdowns. He's been intercepted 3 times. Second down and 4. Randolph, the tailback, tripped up from behind, but he's got enough for the first down near midfield. Steve Sefter again making the tackle. Give Randolph a gain of 4, and that'll be a Mountaineer first down. It is their 3rd first down. They're going to call for the measurement, but I believe he's got it. This is what we call a sprint draw. Hostetler is such a threat to keep the ball from outside the box. They run a draw play off it. They give it to Randolph. The defensive end has to loosen a little bit to keep Hostetler to his inside. He turns it up inside, and it looks like he's close to the first down, if not, if he doesn't have the first down. He's got it by the length of the football. So the Mountaineers, with their 3rd first down of the game, have it near midfield. You know, we talk about Wolfley being kind of an unsung guy and a money player. He's also a very good run blocker, although you find out that he's had a bit of difficulty in pass protection. Hostetler completed 3 out of 3 for 44 yards. Mullen in motion. Play fake. Hostetler over the middle, and it is caught by Holland. He's on the loose, deep into Penn State territory near the 20-yard line. Harry Hamilton and Mark Fruin finally brought him down, but they made the catch in heavy traffic. West Virginia first down. Big gain for the Mountaineers all the way down to the Penn State 21. This is throwback action. Now watch him fake the Randolph, then he turns around, throws back to Hollins, coming from his split end position. Mash Antonio almost got his hand on the ball. The linebacker, Hollins, did a post pattern. Here he goes. Watch this now. This is throwback action. You see Hollins coming right to left on a post, breaks to the inside. A couple guys had a shot at him, almost took it all away. Mark Fruin, number 92, brings him down. Hollins is West Virginia's leading receiver. That is his 25th catch of the year. He is averaging 16 yards per reception, which will be helped by that last play, which gained 29 yards. He scored 2 touchdowns on touchdown passes. Dave DeJarnette, right guard. He is a junior from Charleston, West Virginia, is the man down on the play. Rod Shellhouse, number 61, has come in to replace him. And what a terrific throw by Hostetler, because he threw it between 2 Penn State defenders, right through the middle, threaded the needle. And this year, he seems to have a much even a quicker release than he had last year. He's always had a quick release. He really drilled that one. Well, the Penn State secondary has had their difficulties. That is no secret. Opponents are completing
60% of their passes against Penn State secondary this year. And, of course, Hostetler now has completed 4 out of 4 for 73 yards. As the Mountaineers are driving to tie the score, they started this drive from their own 20-yard. First down and 10, West Virginia at the Penn State 21. In the eye, Randolph the deep man. This is Randolph. Breaks a tackle and gets into Penn State just inside the 19. Give Randolph 2 and make it 2nd and 8. Greg Gattuso, senior from Pittsburgh, makes the tackle for Penn State.
And this is just a simple handle. If they have an unbalanced situation and hoping to break a big one here with Randolph on first down. The big thing about West Virginia's passing game is that their receivers seldom drop a pass. They catch everything that's thrown to them.
Second down and 8. Hostetler's rush, hit from behind and dropped near the line of scrimmage. He'll gain a yard on the play to the 18. Steve Sefter came from behind along with Bob White to make the tackle. So that'll bring up third down and 7 yards to go.
Well, it's obviously that West Virginia has come to this ball game with the idea of throwing because they put a spread formation and spread Penn State secondary and linebackers just about all over the field. They got a strong rush from their down people, and that's what you have to do with Hostetler. You have to put pressure on.
Big play, third down and 7 yards to go. Hollins splits wide to the right. Receivers on the other side. Quarterback draw. Hostetler close to the first down. He's near the 11-yard line, and it'll depend on the spot as to whether or not he got it. Harry Hamilton and Mike Zordich made the tackle. I believe, George, that was the design play.
It is a design play, and it's a good one when you got a quarterback that's 210 pounds that can run like that. You see 62 leg the center just get up there, lead, and Jeff did a good job. He takes 3 steps back, allows the defenders to make their rush, and he steps up to the inside, reads the center's block, and cuts it whichever way is best for him.
West Virginia did not make the first down, and they are going to go for it on 4th down and a long yard to go. And they're going to get hit with a delay of game penalty. It's going to cost them 5 yards, and now they will have no choice. They will have to go for the field goal. Don Nealon was sending several people in and out of the game, and it cost them 5. A critical mistake by West Virginia. They now have to go for the field goal.
As an ex-coach, you hate to criticize the coach. That's the coach's fault. He couldn't make up his mind exactly what play he wanted. He caused the delay of the game, and now they're in a situation where it's mandatory that they go for the 3 and take an opportunity to put some points.
4th down and 6. Of course, they will go for the field goal, which makes the play by Zordich and Hamilton to stop Hostetler before the first down even bigger. Paul Woodside is one of the best kickers in the country. He's 10 out of 12 this year. Set an NCAA record last year. It'll be a 34-yarder. The kick is up, and it is good. So Paul Woodside kicks a 34-yard field goal to get the Mountaineers on the board as they march from their own 20 to the Penn State 12. One of the key elements of this or any other football game, of course, are turnovers. West Virginia came into the game plus 10 on the year, Penn State plus 2, but we should mention that in the last 4 games, Penn State has been a plus 10 themselves, only turning it over 3 times and recovering 13 turnovers. Kevin Bow and Skeeter Nichols back deep for Penn State. Here's the kick. It is Nichols at his goal line, or rather Kevin Bow gets out to the 20 and across the 20 to the 21-yard line. Kevin Bow, who was averaging 19.1 per return, gets a yard better than that. Rich Rodriguez, a reserve middle guard, made the tackle for West Virginia. So Penn State at their own 21 will start out 1st and 10. West Virginia moving 63 yards in 10 plays, setting up the Woodside field goal of 34 yards. 5 minutes, 1 second to play in the first quarter. Penn State leading 7-3. Indy Lions come out in the slot left, and again, it is John Williams, the tailback, moving to a wing left. Strang, rolling, throwing, got his man, Dominio, at the 30, hit at the 30 and stopped there. It'll be a gain of 9. Going to bring up a 2nd down and 1. Mike Scott, the cornerback, a junior from Parkersburg, West Virginia, makes the tackle. So Dominio makes the 2nd catch of the game, and they're rolling Penn State a great deal.
Well, it's the same play that they hit Bauer with. They put 3 receivers to the short side of the field. They fake a bootleg to the 1 remaining back, and the 3 receivers clear out. They drag the tight end across to the short side of the field, and Strang's on target.
Second down, 1 yard to go. Penn State just outside their 30. Mumford in trouble. No gain. Stopped at the line of scrimmage. The play very slow in developing, and then allowed nose guard Dave Oblak, number 55, to sneak in on pursuit and make the tackle. Actually lost a half a yard. It'll be third down and 1.5 yards to go. Penn State's offensive line stands short, and Ron Heller the tackles, Dick McGinnis and Todd Moles the guards, and Nick Caden is the center. Skeeter Nichols comes into the game. It'll be third down and 1.5 yards, and if you're thinking field position, plus the fact Penn State does want to take advantage of the wind in the first quarter, it's a big possession down. Our eye right, double tight end. Williams, first down, the 35, across the 40, on his feet, 45, into West Virginia territory, and pushed out of bounds at the West Virginia 44-yard line. 25-yard gain by John Williams.
Well, John Williams is healthy, obviously. The counter play gets a good block by, I think, Short, number 69, the tackle, but he breaks the tackle here, looking like the old Jonathan Williams of old. Takes it upfield for a nice gain. Big play.
T.J. Dozier, the freshman, is Penn State's leading rusher coming into the game with 677 yards. Williams has been limited by a knee problem. He has gained 225 yards coming into the game, 4.5-yard average. The senior from Somerville, New Jersey. First down and 10 yards to go. Kenny Jackson in motion. Strang. Quick pop over the middle. It is Williams. He's got it, and he's down at the 36-yard line of West Virginia. Mike Scott again making the tackle for the Mountaineers. But the gain is good for 8 yards. It'll be second down and 2.
Once again, a good call. First down, come back and throw the football. When West Virginia's defending deep against Jackson and Bow, they hit the tailback coming out of the backfield short. But that's a nice position to be 2nd and 1.
Yeah, we'll amend that. It's only
2nd and 3. All right.
3. Second down and 3. It's a gain of 7. That was John Williams' 7th reception of the year. Stacked in the eye. Jackson motion far side. Williams cuts up, gets to the 35 and drives forward to the 33-yard line, and that'll be good for another Penn State first down. Steve Hathaway, right outside linebacker, made the tackle for the Mountaineers, but John Williams picks up 4 and another Penn State first down at the 33.
Dan, this is a great run. There's penetration here. You'll see that Oblak, 55, made penetration, and Walters, 97, gets a piece of Williams, but he breaks the tackle. Gets upfield and up for the first down. Good, strong running by Williams.
One of the keys here, George, West Virginia allowing only 77 yards a game rushing, only 2 yards per carry on the ground. But West Virginia has given up some substantial yardage here in the first quarter on the ground. Here's Williams busting ahead to the 30-yard line. Williams on the 3-yard gain to make it 2nd and 7. Van Richardson, number 37, along with Walters, number 97.
Sometimes, Stan, many times a coach will go into a game and say, look, they're good against the run, we can run. Let's go right at their strength. And especially if you can do that, you can control the football, keep it away from a great passer like Hostetler. And this is what's happening today. If Penn State can continue to control the football and keep the ball, make first down, they're in a good position.
John Williams now with 32 yards on 4 carries. Single back offense. 2nd and 7. Strang, there's a blitz on. He can run it, and he does. To the 25, outside, and run out of bounds at the 22-yard line. That'll be good for another Penn State first down, their 6th. Dave Preston chased Strang out of bounds.
Well, what you'll see here from ground level is that Doug Strang says, hey, I can run too. Now, he took a quick look, made up his mind real fast, and that's what a good quarterback, this is experience. Makes a good cut. Williams is trying to make a block for him, gets out of bounds, and makes that first down. Dougie Strang is looking very good.
Strang hurt his ribs in the game against Temple, the 4th game of the year, and really has been holding down his running, but the last couple of weeks we've seen him run when he felt he had to. 1st and 10 from the 22. Strang, a little flat pass to Williams. He's one block, gets it, 15. He's to the 10, and he's down at the 8-yard line. Doug Strang to John Williams. The gain is 14. Penn State has a first down, 1st and goal at the 8.
That was a screen, Stan. They put Kenny Jackson in motion, wide side of the field. You see him go right to left. Fake to the tailback. Looked like he's going to go deep. throws back. Here's a screen. Here's the offensive line. McGinnis out there. Hayden, 58, out there. Williams uses his block as well. Cuts up inside, and he's down to the 8-yard line.
Well, here's where the yardage gets very difficult. West Virginia's giving up only 11 points per game. Sprang out 5 for 5 for 62 yards. Wants to throw again. Throws in the corner of the end zone. Williams open. Touchdown, Penn State. John Williams wide open in the end zone, and the Nittany Lions have scored again.
I'll tell you why he was wide open, Stan. It was just, they haven't shown that before. Williams is going to swing out. You'll see him to the right of the screen. There's nobody on him. Watch him here. But he knows enough to keep his feet in bounds. Let's take a look at him. He's in the slot. He's off the tackle. The other two people made in moves. He just ran to the corner. You see that? It was cleared out beautifully. Nobody picked him up.
Gansitano to attempt the extra point. He is up, and the kick is good. Doug Strang with his 11th touchdown pass of the year. It is John Williams' first touchdown catch of the year. As a matter of fact, Williams' first touchdown of the year. And still with 1:41 to play in the first quarter, Penn State has jumped to a 14-3 lead.
Move that Chevy in next, okay?
5 more minutes.
How's it going?
Busy. We're rolling a lot of tires out of here.
Goodyear's Super Sale.
Right. We're almost through the sale, but we've got plenty of tires. Over $250,000 on sale nationwide.
That's a lot.
Not the way they're going here. This one gets a set of radios.
Got 'em. Great sale prices, great savings. Time and tires are going fast. Be there. The sale ends Saturday, October 29th. Save with number 1.
Diamond State Sports with Steve Turnberger brings you up to date on all the local sports with highlights from the University of Delaware. Interviews with standout players, top 10s in soccer and football, high school features and highlights, and more. It's Tuesday night at 7 p.m. only on WNS-TV, Channel 2.
Drury back deep. Montgomery's kick comes to Drury. It is 1. Looks for the wall outside. Pretty good return out to the 23-yard line. Tim Manoa, freshman from Pittsburgh, who started the year as a fullback but is now a defensive end, made the tackle. So West Virginia will start out just outside their own 23-yard line. Joe Paterno has never lost to West Virginia as a head coach. Again, that has been since 1955 that the Mountaineers were able to beat Penn State. There has been one tie, but it has been 28 years since they've been able to win. So the Mountaineers down 14-3. Split backfield with Randolph and Wolfley. Slot left. Wolfley hit at the line of scrimmage and falls forward for a couple. Out to the 25, Bob White. Defensive end from Freeport, which is near Pittsburgh, to make it second down and 8 yards to go.
It's without a doubt that West Virginia, to win the game, has to use the strong arm of Jeff Hostetler. And Penn State, knows that. They play the run tough on first and second down. They're going to make Jeff throw the ball.
This has been as far behind that West Virginia has been at any point this season. Second down and 8. Hollins in motion to the far side. Hostetler over the middle. And it is caught up at the 33-yard line. Close to a first down, but a little bit short. The pass complete to Hollins. It's his second reception of the game. It'll be 3rd down and 1.
We see Hollins go to motion right to left here. Again, here's a little fake of that draw to Randolph, 24, and Jeff does it. It's a great throw. It's a great throw. He throws back across the grain, a right-handed thrower going to his left. I mean, he has been remarkable throwing the ball today. Talk about quarterbacks. Hostetler's 5 for 5. Strang is 6 for 6. Have yet to see an incompletion. 3rd down and 1. Randolph breaks a tackle and gets outside and is tripped up at the 40-yard line. They had Pat Randolph stacked up, but he hit off the pile, and as a good back does, broke to the outside. Mike Zordich finally brought him down. Coaches will tell their defensive players never to go with your outside shoulder on a tackle. I think it was Rogers Alexander came in, made the hit with his outside tackle. Randolph bounced off, might have taken that all away.
So just good, solid running by Pat Randolph gives West Virginia first down as time runs out in the first quarter. If they get it off, it'll be the last play. Hostetler rolling right. He's in trouble. Cuts against the grain, and he's got room to run. Now he throws, man, wide open. Collins at the 40, cuts inside to the 35, and is down at the Penn State 29-yard line. Both quarterback and wide receiver freelancing and ad-libbing, and they turn it into a very big play, a gain of 30 yards for West Virginia as the first quarter comes to an end. Bob White and Mark Fruan make the tackle, but a big play for West Virginia. That's the end of the first quarter. The score, Penn State 14, West Virginia 3. We'll be back right after this. West Virginia passing very well. Hostetler 6 for 6. The Mountaineers have driven well both times, or actually 3 times they had the ball. One time they turned it over, and it cost them. Second down, 7 yards to go at the Penn State 27. Short drop in the flat. Pass is caught by Mullen in the flat for a first down at the Penn State 14-yard line. Not much coverage over there as Gary Mullen was wide open, his 12th catch of the year.
Well, this is just a great throw. Well, watch him release the ball before the receiver even looks. Mullins just turns around, and Sidner gave him a little too much of a cushion. I tell you, you're seeing some great quarterbacking out here today.
Hostetler now 7 out of 7 for 122 yards. The Mountaineers with that first down have it at the 14-yard line, just underway in the second quarter. Penn State leading 14-3. Bennett back in the game, moves to the right side. This is Randolph into the backfield, spins away, gets inside the 10-yard line and down to the 9. Steve Sefter finally made the tackle, but again Randolph was stopped for a loss, and good tough running picks him up 5 yards.
Scott Radisick had him in the backfield. You see number 97 come in here, right here. You can't miss tackles like that with a good back. He's got 77 Jozowitz running in front of him and makes a big gain out of it. You cannot let a back get away like that.
Second down and 5 from the 9. West Virginia the slot left. Wayne Brown wide left, and we've got a timeout called by Penn State. They want to talk over their defensive strategies at this point. So both teams have now used a timeout at the line of scrimmage. Well, there is a timeout in the action. The score, Penn State 14, West Virginia 3. 13:24 to play in the first half. West Virginia at the Penn State 9 with a 2nd and 5. Collins slot left, Brown split wide left. Wolfley's big hole inside the 5 and down to the 4-yard line, and a West Virginia first down. Radisick and Masciantonio make the stop, but the gain is good for 6, and it'll be a West Virginia first and goal.
Well, they spread the defense out. Just a straight handoff to Wolfie. Wolfie, good blocking at the point of attack. He gets down to the inside, and they're first and goal to go from the 4.
Scott Caraher comes in at defensive tackle, number 77, as you see him coming around the Penn State huddle. First and goal, they'll call from the 4-yard line. Tim Manoa is also in as a defensive end, having made the switch just 1 week ago. Randolph, the deep man in the eye, and Bennett switching position as tight end. This is Randolph up the middle, and he gets a couple near the 2-yard line. Radisick was in there.
Man, Penn State must be very aware. Here is when Jeff Hostetler loves to run a bootleg or a keeper. A bootleg is when the flow of the backs goes one way and the quarterback keeps it nakedly by himself. A keeper is when he goes to the same side as the flow, hoping to influence the defense on the side of the flow and keep them from outside. He does both of them as well as anybody in the country.
Head coach Don Nealon, his record this year at 6-0, 2nd down and goal. Randolph getting outside, touchdown West Virginia. Pat Randolph, the freshman, scoring from 2 yards out, and the Mountaineers have closed the gap on Penn State.
Well, that time they put two wide receivers to the bottom of the screen, faked up inside, and he took it to the outside. Penn State's defense loosened up just a little too much. Zordich was a little late getting up there to fill the hole on that sweep.
Pat Randolph scoring his 3rd rushing touchdown of the season. Woodside will attempt the extra point, and he has been perfect this year. 24 out of 24. Kick is up, and the kick is good. So West Virginia drives for their first touchdown of the game. 12:21 to play in the first half.
Watch
coach.
West Virginia moving 77 yards on the touchdown drive. Randolph scoring on a 3-yard run. Kickoff. Super at kicking. And the ball coming up short. And the touchback will be called. Penn State will take it at the 20-yard line. Bow and Nichols back deep. They will settle for the touchback. 10 plays to get that 77 yards. Randolph with a 3-yard run. And the interesting thing, George, is since part of the drive was in the first quarter, West Virginia passed against the wind. When they had the wind in the second quarter, they ran it. Didn't even need the wind.
Well, the wind didn't see the ball of the Hostetler at all. I mean, you know, you're seeing near-perfect quarterbacking out there today on both sides.
We have yet to see an incomplete pass in this game. And again, with Skeeter Nichols on a wing, John Williams the tailback, and we have not seen DJ Dozier. Slot to the right. This is Williams. He's a block. Gets out to the 25-yard line. Didn't quite get the block. Needed to turn the corner. Van Richardson came in through the interference and made the stop. Call it a gain of 4 and make it 2nd down and 6. Penn State their own 24.
You know, Stan, although Jonathan Williams has had a great game so far, Dozier must be really hurt, because I think the one thing that Penn State is going to have to do to neutralize this great offense that Hostetler generates is have a couple of big runs by a big back, and Dozier would be in there if he wasn't hurt.
Speaking of Hostetler, that was he on the sideline looking at his elbow. 2nd down and 6. Williams again. Up the middle and gets out to the 27-yard line. Jim Merritt's made the tackle, the left defensive tackle. I think Williams kind of missed the hole there. Cut back. He had a lot of room to the outside.
You're so right. If he broke that back to the outside, that's what I'm talking about. See, he's a little rusty. Dozier is, you know, with a little more game competition, might have broken that thing back to the outside. There was 100 miles of daylight to the outside.
Well, we knew that Dozier had a slight injury in practice stemming from his injury last week against Syracuse, but we did think he would play. It is 3rd down and 3. Penn State, their own 27. Strang wants to throw. He throws, got a man open on the flat. It is Williams. Breaks loose. 35, 40, and he's knocked down out of the 42-yard line. John Williams cut back, and it looked like he might cost himself a 1st down. But he got the yardage and does have the 1st down. Steve Newberry ran him out of bounds.
Well, actually, they like Williams in there because he catches well. Now, Jonathan makes a good catch. Now, Daniels ain't gamble. He shouldn't gamble on that. He should have made a safe tackle. He allowed Williams to break the tackle, make the 1st down, but possibly could have made a tremendous amount of yards in that play.
The gain is 15, and both quarterbacks are perfect. Strang 7 for 7, and Hostetler is 7 for 7. 15-yard gain, 1st and 10. Penn State their own 42. Here's a reverse to Kevin Bow. He's a block. He slips and falls at the 44. Nick Hayden was out in front and threw a great block and had the defender on the ground. As Bow tried to cut back inside because of the block, he slipped and fell.
Stan, this is the way you set up. They had him beat. They had the corner. They had Hayden the center release. He had to make an inside cut here to take it for a long way, and he fell down. Tough break for Penn State.
Well, it's only a gain of 1, and it really was wide open after Hayden's block. Well, Penn State gains 1. That makes it 2nd down and 9 yards to go. 10 minutes, 20 seconds to go in the 1st half. Whistle and flags all over. Ron Heller guilty of pulling out of the line of scrimmage too soon, and that's going to cost Penn State 5 yards.
Well, I think he was trying to audibilize because they're getting some single coverage on Kenny Jackson.
Call this motion against Penn State. That'll bring up 2nd down and 14.
That evens off for a delay of game with West Virginia, but they're getting sometimes, of course, everybody disguises defenses. But on certain, definitely running situations, they're coming in and then going single on Kenny Jackson.
Illegal procedure foul on the blue. 2nd down.
You cannot win a big ball game when you got a receiver like Jackson without him getting his hands on a ball, a few times.
Jackson has 13 receptions on the year, but that is far from his productivity level of a year ago. 2nd down and 14. Strang with time over the middle, wide open. It is Kurt Bowman, the backup tight end, and he's into West Virginia territory at the 46-yard line to give Penn State a 1st down. Steve Hathaway made the tackle.
Well, what's happening? They're so conscious of Jackson. Now watch, they disguised it, and they went out and doubled him. Let the tight end run free right here. He went down about 12, curled it in, and he got the 1st down.
That is Bowman's 4th catch of the year, and he's averaging better tthan 17 yards per reception. First down and 10, Penn State at the 46. It's Nichols up the middle. A good run, hard driving down to the 43. Gain of 3, but tough running by Skeeter Nichols. Preston made the tackle. Nichols on the year, 129 yards on the season, averaging 3.1 per carry.
Penn State hoping to break one with the fullback Nichols this time because they're spreading people out and they're coming off. They're running outside most of the time, throwing, hoping to break one back to the inside. They'll keep that defense honest on the inside and cut down on their pursuit to the outside.
Again, slot left with Williams on a wing left. That is broken as Jackson comes in motion near side. 2nd and 7. Strang throwing, got his man over the middle, and his Nichols stays on his feet, and he's got the first down. Skeeter Nichols showing tremendous balance, is inside the 35 and down to the 33. Matt Smith, the linebacker, tripped him up. Great balance, though, by Nichols.
Yes, they came with a rush, but, you know, this is the motion to Jackson was so open. Now, let's take a look at this here. All right, now watch a little action here. Now, Jackson is in motion at the bottom of the screen. He gets a strong rush from Oblak, 55. He picks up Nichols, who makes a nice runner, but Kenny Jackson to the bottom of the screen was so open it wasn't funny.
First down and 10. Penn State at the West Virginia 33. With George Alford in motion. Counter play to Williams. Got a hold of the outside, but he can't quite get there. Step slow, 31-yard line. Gain of 2, 2nd and 8. Matt Smith made the tackle. And as good a back as John Williams is, that's the kind of play that Dozier perhaps can break to the outside.
But it's good linebacking.
We want to remind you that announcers on the telecast are contracted and paid for by Total Communication Systems, and any rebroadcast, reproduction, or other use of the accounts of the game without the express written consent of Total Communication Systems is prohibited. One of these days I'm going to memorize that. 2nd down, 8 yards to go at the 31. Slot to the right. Nichols breaks the tackle for 25 and out of the 23-yard line, and that'll be good for another Penn State first down. Free safety Tim Agee, number 44, who leads West Virginia in tackles, made the stop.
See what happens, Stan, when they put those 3 receivers to one side, you have to loosen up linebackers to cover them because they've been throwing the ball from that particular set. They loosened up that time. They gave the ball to the fullback, was basic block at one-on-one. He found the crack, and he took it up for the first down. Good offensive strategy.
Do the wide receivers actually take off in a pass pattern to take the secondary people with them, or do they block?
Oh, they'll take them and block. Question whether it's zone or man-to-man.
Strang on the roll.
Run it.
Got room to run. 20 gets inside to the point of the 18-yard line. A little bit indecisive. Strang picks up 4 to make it 2nd down and 6.
Well, I said run it because, you know, the point is when you get that close, and a field goal is as important sometimes as a touchdown, you take 4 or 5. Though, again, Kenny Jackson again was open. He just was open, and you got to, he's the kind of receiver, and when he breaks open, you got to give him the ball right now.
Penn State moving into the teeth of a rather stiff wind, 15 to 20 miles per hour. They have it 2nd down and 6 at the West Virginia 18-yard line. Time lining up in the eye. Blitz. Strang throws. Man open in the flat is caught by Bowman, but he falls down at the 16-yard line. The pass a bit tall, and Bowman tried to get his feet. Had he, would have had a first down, but he had to hang on to the ball. The gain is a couple. It'll bring up 3rd down and 4 yards to go for the first down.
But yet it was a great reception because there's a corner blitz coming from the right side. Watch him come right there. Almost got to the quarterback. He got the ball up. It was a little high. Bowman could not keep his feet on him, but he made a good catch.
3rd down and 4. And this, by and large, the passing down. You may see that screen. Kevin Bow, wide right. Jackson is split left. And Penn State is going to use another timeout, which will reduce them to just 1 timeout left in the half.
Good timeout, though. It's a good timeout. You're in a position to put up points. You don't make a mistake down here. They want a good play. They want to try to make, you know, the first down here. If they make the first down and get the touchdown. If they don't make the first down, obviously they're going to go for 3.
As you saw, Doug Strang, 10 out of 10 for 114 yards. We have yet to see an incomplete pass in this game. The quarterbacks combined are 17 out of 17. What they don't want to do is mess it up and let a halfback throw it or something to break the string.
Well, the first quarterback that throws an incompletion is going to come on the bench.
That's right. Either that or buy the other quarterback dinner. On third down conversions, Penn State is perfect, 4 out of 4. West Virginia, on the other hand, not too bad, 2 out of 3. There's not been a punt in this football game. Both teams have managed to keep it when they've had it. The only turnover of the game by West Virginia, which set up Penn State's first touchdown.
It's one of the classic examples that I've ever seen, and I've been in football 20-some years, of ball control. Combining the short pass with the run. The run and the short pass, with West Virginia a little bit more in the pass and Penn State a little bit more balanced, but it's just ball control at its best.
Well, as you said before the game, George, if Penn State is able to run the football, they're going to have an opportunity to move it consistently. And by the same token, of course, West Virginia wants to stop that run, force them to pass. Big play, third down and 4 at the 16-yard line. Strang rolling. He's got a lot of room to run. He's hit. He spins away. He throws in the end zone. Touchdown! Kevin Bow! Strang stayed loose as long as he could. And as the West Virginia rusher were getting to him, he threw the Bow in the end zone for a touchdown.
Well, you can't find a better quarterback. Watch this. Oblak's got him. Breaks the tackle. Finds Bow crossing. Kevin Bow left his receiver. Come back to the inside. But Dougie Strang is absolutely phenomenal.
11 out of 11. His second touchdown pass of the game. His 12th of the year. Bow's 5th touchdown catch of the year. Gancitano to attempt the extra point. Kick is up. And the kick is good. 5 minutes, 51 seconds to play in the first half. Penn State has had the ball 3 times. They have scored 3 times. There's a timeout in the action. The score, Penn State 21, West Virginia 10. We'll be back right after this. Play in the half. Greg Montgomery to kick for Penn State. Mullen on the near side. Drury on the far side. This time Montgomery kicking against the wind, but gets pretty good distance. Drury takes it to 7. Tries to get outside. Hit. Breaks 1 tackle. Still on his feet. Gets across the 20 to the 21-yard line. Tim Manoa again making the tackle on the special teams. And here's another look at the touchdown.
Well, this is a bootleg action. They faked the Williams. Watch him come out. But Oblak, 55, the nose guard, got a piece of him. Strang would not go down. Now, Kevin Bow saw he was in trouble, broke his pattern down, come back to the inside, and Strang put it right on him. And he's having a fantastic day.
And Kevin Bow left Mike Scott in the dust. Back battles before the game. Both quarterbacks have been magnificent, each man missing on only 2 passes.
As I said, they're matching bullet for bullet. I don't think you can see better quarterbacking. I mean, they're on target. There's only been a few incompletions. That was at the latter part of the second quarter, and they've made the right decisions at the right times. It's a terrific game, a great offensive game. I think Penn State's running game has really kept them in the ball game by setting up their passing game. I don't think you're going to see as good quarterbacking in the second half, hoping that the team that takes over defensively, might come out the winner.
There's been only 1 turnover in the football game, and that indeed led to a Penn State touchdown as Doug Strang took it over from the 1-yard line after Penn State had recovered a Mountaineer fumble at the West Virginia 44-yard line. Penn State took a 7-0 lead after a field goal to make it 7-3. Strang throwing to John Williams.
And Williams came out from a slot formation. Nobody covered him. There were 3 receivers to one side. 2 of them went down and crossed over, and Williams was wide open for the touchdown.
West Virginia marched 77 yards. Pat Randolph taking it over from the 3 to make it a 14-10 game. But then an excellent play by Doug Strang on a bootleg.
Here's a bootleg action. You see Strang come out here. Now, Kevin Bow sees he's in trouble. He breaks the tackle of Oblak, and Bow cuts it back to the inside. They make the touchdown. Great reception.
Well, the quarterbacking has been superb. Again, the passing totals, you can see that Jeff Hostetler is 8 out of 10 for 182 yards, and Strang is 12 out of 14 for 226 yards. And as you said, George, Penn State in the total yardage, surprisingly enough, has moved the ball every time they've gotten it. Each team has only had to punt once.
Well, yeah, and the point is that Penn State has gotten first downs with their running game, which has set up the passing game. But the thing is, when you get quarterbacks, one who's completing 8 out of 10, the other 12 out of 14, you're just going to have a great offensive football game.
And Penn State has managed to control the football, keeping it away from Jeff Hostetler and the West Virginia offense. We'll be back with the second half in just a moment. Of course, Mark Robinson being out of the year with a broken leg. Second down, let's call it 8 yards, well 7 yards, 7 or 8.
I wouldn't be surprised they go right at Cunningham as soon as they can.
Delayed draw. Randolph trying to get outside, trying to use his speed, and he gets a couple out of the 40-yard line. Could not outrun Cunningham and Harry Hamilton. Well, the gain is 3. It'll bring up third down and 5 yards to go. But you did see that Randolph has great speed to the outside, although the two defenders had the angle.
He can fly, but Gattuso made this play. There's a draw play, and he's not fooled. There's no hole, so he forces the action to the outside. Good lateral movement, enabling the outside people to come up and make the tackle. But Randolph can really turn it on.
Scott Carraher also forcing Randolph to the outside. There is Alvin Cunningham. Seeing action and scrimmage one of the 2 times this year. Third down and 5. Hostetler with time. Over the middle. Got his man complete for first down at the Penn State 24. The pass complete to the tight end, Rob Bennett. Bennett's second catch of the game. And it gives the Mountaineers an important first down at the 24.
Oh, Jeff showed a lot of poise. He stays in the pocket, no rush. If Bennett just goes in, he turns it. Luke turned in for the first down. Radicic was right around the ball. He's got plenty of time, much too much time to throw. It's only a 3 or 4 man rush. That's Mash Antonio coming over too late. First down.
That was a big play because had they not gotten the first down, they would have been able to take advantage of the interception. Randolph, left tackle. And he's hit hard down at the 22-yard line. Penn State closing whatever hole there was rather quickly. They'll make it second down and 8 yards to go. Greg Gattuso and Steve Schefter make the tackle for Penn State.
Stan, I'd like to make a point. Obviously, West Virginia's come out here in the second half all fired up. They're going to really go at it again. If Penn State can shut them off here, it's going to take a couple of coals out of the hamper.
That's why that third down and 8-yard pass was such a big one from Hostetler to Bennett. Second down and 8. The lone setback is Wolfley behind Hostetler with Randolph split wide. Hostetler rolling, throwing over the middle, and it is caught for a first down at the Penn State 11-yard line. Don Graham made the tackle on Rich Hollins, but it is an 11-yard pickup and another Mountaineer first down at the Penn State 11.
Again, rollout action. He's rolling away from pressure, but Penn State is defending it well in the fact that they only got 3 or 4 people pursuing. Hollins does a turn in, and Jeff is still firing that football. Beautiful throw.
Hollins now with 4 receptions for 78 yards. Hostetler 10 out of 12. Donnie Graham, the freshman from Brentwood in Pittsburgh, first down and 10 at the Penn State 11. Randolph gets outside and down to the 5-yard line. He broke through a lot of traffic as he cut to the outside. Zordich made a touchdown-saving tackle. But Randolph picks up 6. It'll be second and 4.
That was a great play by Zordich. Hamilton at the bottom of the screen will come on a blitz. And Wolfie blasts him out of the play. Looked like a big hole from Randolph. And Zordich came over from a safety position and put him down. That was a great play by Zordich.
Knocked out Harry Hamilton on the block. Randolph now 39 yards and 12 carries. He has the lone West Virginia touchdown. Second and 4 from the 5. Randolph again. Zordich hits him again. He's down near the 3-yard line. It'll bring up third down and a long 2. Mike Zordich from strong safety came up to make the stop. It'll be third down and 2.
Again, here's Mike Zordich, the safety. You're saying, what's he doing up there? Well, that's the safety in Penn State scheme has to do a lot of things. He comes up in the safety position, actually, stop them on the line of scrimmage. West Virginia needs a score here. I don't think they want the 3. They need 2 touchdowns to go ahead, but they might just go for it. They'll definitely come out with some kind of rollout action here.
Third down and 2 for the first down. Randolph, he's hit, and he did not get the first down. Steve Schefter cut across and knifed him down near the 2. It'll be 4th down and 1 yard for the first down.
And it's a long one, Stan. Again, I definitely thought they would come with some kind of a rollout action. Schefter comes in from an end position, takes an inside move, and they had it really stuffed. I don't think, yeah, they're going to go for it.
They are going to go for it. Carraher comes back in.
It's 2 yards to go, Stan.
For the first down and about 2.5 for the touchdown. 4th down. Hostetler rolling, throwing, touchdown. West Virginia, Pat Randolph. Penn State defense reacted to the roll, and that gave Randolph a clear lane to the end zone.
Well, it looked like a pick play to me. They had 3 receivers to one side. Most of them broke inside, shutting off the inside pursuit, and Randolph come out there free. From a slot position, there's absolutely no coverage. It's a good call. Obviously, they felt that they could do it. Somebody blew an assignment.
It is Hostetler's first touchdown pass of the game, his 8th of the year. Randolph has now scored both West Virginia touchdowns. He has a total of 4 on the season. Woodside to attempt the extra point. Kick is up. Kick is good. And so, as Penn State did in the first quarter, in the third, West Virginia takes advantage of a Penn State turnover. 9-yard touchdown. First down, 10 yards to go at the West Virginia 48. That's Halpert in motion. Williams, big hole. 45, breaks a tackle to the 40, inside the 40 and down to the 39-yard line. John Williams beginning to show flashes of what he has done at Penn State the last 2 years.
Well, they're getting back to the rhythm of the first half. All right, this time it's a fake pass. It's draw play to the tailback. He breaks Daniels' tackle. He looks awfully strong. Certainly John Williams' best game. Here comes Dozier.
DJ Dozier, who was in for one play earlier in the quarter, but has not yet carried the ball. It is 2nd down and 1.
I said it before, it's Penn State's running game that will win the game for them if they win it.
With a throw on 2nd and 1. Strang looking for the home run. Domidio's open. He's got it and dropped it. He didn't drop it. He was separated from it. Good hit by the West Virginia secondary. Steve Newberry separated him from the ball. That was a good pattern and a good pass, but an equally good defensive play.
Well, as he gets, he's only a sophomore, Demedio. He'll learn that when you get a situation to make a catch like this, he should have gotten up in the air, used his body a little bit. He must anticipate some defender coming over and stripping him just like that. Just what happened there.
Good timing by Newberry.
He's in his seam. He's in his seam. It's, you know, the ball is well thrown. He ran a good pattern. He's got to use his body to protect himself from the defender.
Hurt on the play, Scott Dixon, the linebacker. He is a junior from Canton, Ohio. He comes out, and it brings up a 3rd down and 1. And, of course, that was 7 points. Had Domidio been able to hang on. Penn State, 9 out of 11 on 3rd down conversions. Here, they face a 3rd down and 1 at the 39. Power I left. Williams. 1st down, and then some to the 36-yard line. Williams picks up the necessary 3, and a flag is down. We either got a face mask or a late hit. Christian and Newberry make the tackle, but the penalty is going to go against West Virginia.
It almost has to be because the flag, the flag was thrown after the play. But, I like to see people from that power eye go up tackle a little bit instead of inside, because that gives the back an option to go into the inside or bounce it to the outside.
Face mask the call on West Virginia. So the yardage will be tacked on for the first down.
Excuse me, Stan. Power eye, Williams in there. You got Mumford leading up. Nichols makes a good block on a corner on Daniels, and he turns it up inside tough. Right here, the mask, somebody reaches around, grabs his face.
Looked like one of the safeties coming up. The penalty tacks on 5. Penn State just inside the 32, and that is Mark Robinson, the All-American free safety who has shifted to cornerback. And now he's shifted to the bench with that broken leg. Run ball in the end zone, overthrown. Intended for Kevin Powell, but good coverage on the play, and the pass was way too long. So it'll be 2nd down and 10. And again, Penn State looking to throw the home run.
But they're in the 4th down area. That's a good call. You got to loosen those people up. You can't let them gang up. Their running game is their strength, and they have to throw to keep their running game so they can make their running game go.
Kevin Powell with a touchdown pass today. His 5th of the year. That leads Penn State. Now the Lions with a 2nd down and 10, just at their own 32-yard line, just a bit inside. Williams up the middle, inside the 30 and down to the 28-yard line. Jim Merritt's left defensive tackle makes the tackle from Hollidaysburg, Pennsylvania. It is 3rd down and 6 yards to go. There's Williams' stats on the day. 69 yards, 16 carries, also caught a touchdown pass. And Penn State is 10 out of 12 in 3rd down conversion. And if you're thinking field goal, of course, first of all, that would only give Penn State a 7-point lead. Secondly, at this point, from this point of the field, it would be a 45-yarder against the stiff wind. So another big 3rd down play, 3rd down and 6. Strang gets out of trouble. Now he's going to be sacked. No, he's still loose. He throws, and it is incomplete. Trying to get it over the middle. Dave Oblak had a hold of it, and what Strang did there by getting rid of it was save his team an opportunity to attempt a field goal.
Well, they're going to go for it, though. That was absolutely a great job by Strang. This is what's called determination. Now Dixon come in. They brought him in for the reason. They blitzed Preston 37. Dixon, the outside linebacker, came in kind of clean. Somebody missed him. Both of them missed Strang. Oblak comes in. He misses him also. He threw it close enough to the receiver for an incomplete pass.
Gancitano will attempt a 45-yard field goal against the wind, angle to the right. Gancitano is 10 out of 13 in field goals. Kick is up. It's traveling, and it is good. Against the wind, Nick Gancitano with a 45-yard field goal. Penn State increases their lead to 7. That's Mullen on the near side. Top of your screen, it is Willie Drury, and Montgomery will kick against that wind. Kick is high, but also short. Drury takes it to 10, gets a running start on it. He stopped at the 21. Good play on the special teams by Shane Conlon. Drury was beginning to get a feeling for the wall on the far sideline, but Conlon, a freshman, made the tackle. So West Virginia will start out on their own 22-yard line.
Boy, would I like to see Penn State bring those ends from their outside position and let them come hard a few times to let Hostetler know they're getting some outside pressure.
Someone ought to take her picture instead of the other way around. Here comes Hostetler. He's completed 11 out of 13 for 163 yards and a touchdown. Short drop, pass in the flat, incomplete. Intended out there for Drury. Kind of a flanker screen, but never really set up. There were no blockers ahead of Drury. Incomplete, 2nd and 10.
Penn State had 10 men on the field, and Rogers Alexander kind of drifted off like he was going to the ball, and he kind of confused Hostetler. But they got one-on-one coverage on Mullen against Cunningham, and he's got to be careful. You got a rookie in there. You got, here comes Brown, one-on-one on Cunningham. Let's see what happens.
That's to the bottom of your screen, the matchup. 2nd down and 10. There's a blitz on. Hostetler scrambles away. Now he's hit, and he's going to be sacked back at the 17-yard line. Hostetler did a great job to get away from not 1 but 2 tackles, but finally Bob White and Scott Carraher caught him and brought him down with help from Scott Radisek.
But the important part about when you blitz, all right, Gattuso's the first guy to flush him out. He flushed him out. The outside people came in. He did a great job, but Hines had a hold of him. He's a great player, but the next time he goes back to throw, he's thinking blitz a little bit, and it makes him a little unsure of himself.
West Virginia, 3rd down, 14 yards to go. They are 3 out of 6 on 3rd down conversion. Watch the reverse. It's Mullen.
They got him.
And they got him back at the 11-yard line. Greg Gattuso wasn't fooled, not even for a minute. It's a 5-yard loss, and 4th down and 22 yards to go.
There were 3 great defensive calls that came down from upstairs. They anticipated. This is what's known as anticipation. They went to Mullins. Gattuso shot the gap. He was there. He stayed at home. That's a big defensive stand for Penn State.
Gattuso plays his position by technique as well as anyone. He knows exactly what his assignment is, and he does not stray.
He's too slow to overrun the play.
Super kicks, and it's a beauty. Foul all the way. It is 44.
Plenty of room.
Got a lot of room. To the 40, 35, 30, 25, 20, 15, 12, 5, touchdown, Kevin Lowe, and Penn State, a 55-yard punt return. Penn State's first return for a touchdown this year.
Sid, Honest to God, I saw it up here. There's a big hole. Only because I'm rooting, you know.
57 yards, the official call. And watch the blocking he gets on the near side.
Now, right there, about 5 steps, a big alley opens up. Great blocking. And guess who's up front? Kenny Jackson.
Took 2 Ks out.
All-American flanker. Great cutback. Again, another cut here. Making the Daniels miss. Keeps his balance. Oh, boy, you can't do it any better than that.
Gancitano for the extra point. He's been perfect on the afternoon. Kick is up, and the kick is good. So the special teams play an important part in any football game. It has just taken place before 86,000 at Beaver Stadium. There's a pause in the action. Score. Penn State 31, West Virginia 17.
Cunningham gets caught one-on-one. He made a real bad mistake.
First down, 10. Hostetler on the roll after the play fake. Wants to turn up. He's in trouble. He dumps it off. He's got to complete the Wolfley, and Wolfley's got good yardage into Penn State territory down to the 46-yard line. Rogers Alexander made the tackle along with Joe Hines, but again, Hostetler showing great reflexes and really thinking on his feet.
He's a great athlete, and, you know, he's got enough experience now. He had a great year last year to do the things that, you know, that he has to do. But it's still, it's helping Penn State in a sense of not giving up the big bomb. If it takes 10 plays to get a touchdown, whatever, the clock keeps running.
He gets a gain of 9. It wouldn't look like a sack. Second down and 1 at Penn State 46. Hostetler out of time. Throwing the bomb deep for Hollins, and it is incomplete. And pass interference is going to be called on Mike Zordan. Gene Steratore makes the call. Penn State's argument may be it was an uncatchable ball.
Well, I don't know about that, but I'm telling you, I mean, he's running stride for stride with the receiver. You know, let's take a look at it here. It's a semi-roll. He pumps one way. He throws deep, has plenty of time. Now, Zordich has good position on him. I don't know. I mean, you know, what do you do to play defense? You got, you know, it's a free ball.
Of course, the defender has as much right to the ball as does the offensive man. But official Gene Steratore ruling that Zordich bumped him. And it'll be first down and goal at the 1-yard line for West Virginia. Still 2:37 to play in the third quarter. And, of course, with a Mountaineer touchdown, it gets them back within 7 and right back in the football game. And it did not take them a great deal of time to do it. They started this drive with 4 minutes and 10 seconds to play. They've only used up about a minute and a half since the Kevin Bow punt return. First and goal from the 1-yard line after the pass interference call. Wolfley on the dive did not get in. It'll be second down and goal near the goal line.
Ron Wolfley carries.
Gets a half a yard. Maybe even a bit more than that. It'll be second down, goal really just inches away. First, Hostetler is a big quarterback at 6'3", 212 pounds. He's got the kind of power to get in a quarterback sneak. And Wolfley's the kind of guy that they like to give it to punch it in there. Second down and goal. Oh, West Virginia moved. Brian Joswiak, the left tackle, moved, and that will change everything. It'll cost the Mountaineers 5 yards.
This is an obvious offside. Now watch the Joswiak number 77 jump. He missed the count. And that's a terrible break for West Virginia.
Boy, there's never a worse place for that than on the goal line. Now, although they certainly have the option to run or try out.
Well, you know, Stan, they'll probably come back, and not this play, certainly the next play, with the play that they hit Randolph for the touchdown, which might be an illegal pick. I don't know. They were picking with the 2 outside receivers, stiffened formation.
Fake. Hostetler in the end zone, incomplete. Intended for the tight end, Bennett. It'll bring up third down and goal from just outside the 5. Bruhan now back in the game at corner, replacing Alvin Cunningham. He was shaken up earlier. They'll bring Cunningham back in, play him at a corner on the outside as Hollins comes out of the game. And a big play. A field goal does not help West Virginia a great deal, being down 14 points.
Well, Penn State almost hit. That's the same formation they ran before. They're going to try to hit Randolph. It's a pick. That's an
Hostetler
illegal
throwing.
pick.
Touchdown.
They called it.
And a flag
It's
is
an illegal
down.
pick. That's an illegal pick, Stan. They brought the wide receiver, and he flopped down on the defender. It's an illegal pick.
Let's hear the call. Offensive pass interference on the illegal pick. And it is a loss of down.
They lost the ball. Now watch here. You will see the offensive, you can't see it here. He actually blocks the defensive man, enabling the tailback to get outside. That was an illegal pick.
And you saw the flag come in immediately.
Let's take another look. It's a rollout action. 3 receivers to one side. The widest receiver picks the inside man, enabling the tailback, which is Randolph, running from a slot to get out there clean. But
Play. Lost of down. Fourth down.
Well, you never know. First and goal after the pass interference call at the 1-yard line. And West Virginia will now have to settle for a field goal. Woodside will attempt a 37-yarder. Kick is up. It is long enough, and it is good. So Woodside hitting on the 37-yard field goal. His second of the game. It's now 31-20. And George, you deserve all the credit in the world for a great call.
Well, really, it was a great call. It's so obvious. You know what happened? They got away with it the first time. And I hate to take anything away from West Virginia, but the pass touchdown was the same thing. Here's an attempted block we got on a field goal now. The choose on number 70. He's trying to get up and over. He thinks he's that guy from Green Bay, but his rear end is a little too heavy to get up that high.
I guarantee you, West Virginia center Bill Legg, number 62, will have a great deal of trouble. He'll have to sleep on his stomach tonight because Gattuso goes about 265. We'll be back right after this. Play of the fourth quarter. Mountaineers at the Penn State 37, first and 10. Delayed draw. Inside handoff is not going anywhere. Penn State with Steve Sefter and Rogers Alexander coming in to make the tackle on Wolfley. It'll be no gain to make it second down and 10 yards to go. We've been talking about the wind all game, George, but really it has been no factor. Each team has scored equally against and with the wind.
Because they've been throwing short most of the time. It doesn't affect you when you throw short, but Hostetler has to make some big plays here.
Penn State with a slight edge in total yards. Second down and 10. Hostetler, short drop. He looks, he spins out of the pocket. He throws in a flat to Wolfley. He's got it at the 30, down to the 25, and deep into Penn State territory at the 22-yard line. Rogers Alexander finally made the tackle, but again, Penn State had Hostetler for a big loss, but he makes a play out of it as they mark it at the 24-yard line.
Well, he's like Walter Lewis from Alabama. He does this so well. Watch him duck. Comes underneath, pump fakes, and then slips to the outside to the right of the screen and finds Wolfie, number 36, who takes him a big gain. That could have been a big loss, but he turned it into a big gain.
13 yards and another first down. Rogers Alexander, sophomore from Riverdale, Maryland, is shaken up on the play, but it gives the Mountaineers another first down at the Penn State 24. And, of course, the Penn State defense is going to have to make the play.
That wasn't poor defense. That was just a great offensive effort by an individual.
Hostetler really having a tremendous game. First down and 10. Fake to Randolph. Hostetler chased again. Throws over the middle. Overthrown. Intended for Wayne Brown near the goal line. But again, the rush forced Hostetler to get rid of it early. Donnie Graham was the man who pressured Jeff Hostetler.
Donnie Graham said, look, I wasn't here when you were playing, so he has no friendship for him. And he really kissed him that time. I think the way to handle Hostetler is just come with pressure from the outside. I really do that. Because what that does, it takes the rollout from him also, and it makes him throw real quick. And I don't think he does that well. I mean, if you let him roll out, dance around, scramble, he might kill you.
16 out of 22 now for Hostetler. Second down and 10 from the Penn State 24. Randolph gets free over right tackle to the 21. Graham again on the tackle. So it'll be third down and 7. Third down and 7 yards to go. Slot right with Brown and Howard. Hostetler, not a lot of time. He's hit and he's buried to the 26. Joe Hines really stuck a helmet into his chest and drove him back to the 27-yard line. And Hostetler really got smacked by Joe Hines.
I'll tell you, classic example. Outside pressure. Now he thinks he's going to step up, and watch Hines beat Keel, 71, and come up into the seam as Hostetler stepped forward, and he really put a beautiful tackle on it.
Well, here comes Woodside again. He'll be attempting, depending on the spot, a 44-yard field goal. Straight away, it is against the wind, but there is no angle. Kick is up. It's long enough, and it is good. So Woodside, all automatic, is 3 for 3 on the day in field goals, and West Virginia is now within 8 points of Penn State. 12:47 to play in the game. There's a timeout in the action to score. Penn State 31, West Virginia 23. We'll be back right after this. Who takes it as 2. Got a hole, and he fumbles, and West Virginia, I believe, is recovered. There's a scramble near the 28-yard line. Bow had a big hole open, but a good, solid hit caused him to fumble. It looked like West Virginia fell on it initially, but then there was a scramble. Let's wait and see.
Well, Penn State gets it there lucky.
Penn State has recovered the fumble.
Penn State. I always said, I'd rather be lucky than be good, because it was a great hole, great run back. That ball flew into the area. Watch this. Now watch where the ball goes. It flies right into the area about 5 West Virginia players.
Wes Turner is the man who made the hit. He's a freshman from Connellsville. He's the same guy who made the hit on Boston College's Troy Stratford, knocked him out for the season.
Well, I'll tell you what, it was a great hit. The ball's flying loose, and Penn State is very fortunate.
And he was carrying the ball in the wrong hand. At the 28, 1st and 10. Nickel to the 30, drives forward out to the 34-yard line. Skeeter Nichols picks up a big 6 yards. Mike Scott makes the tackle. It'll be 2nd down and 4. Penn State now not only needs to possess the ball, they need to get something on the board.
Well, they had the wind with them, so there's no reason for them not to put the ball in the air, but I think that they will try to control it on the ground, and then they'll come out with the play-action pass for short yards in an effort to maintain the total control.
2nd down and 4 from the 34. Jackson in motion. Williams gets outside to the 40. He's got a Penn State 1st down across the 40 near the 42-yard line. So Williams picks up 8 yards, and it'll be a Penn State 1st down. And that is Penn State's 18th 1st down of the game. Before John Williams, West Virginia has 15 1st down. John Williams on the afternoon now has 76 yards and 17 carries.
We see a counter play. He gets a good block from 69 short, but he couldn't get up inside the trap, took it to the outside, and made it all on his own. But again, I say, I think they'll try to control the ball and then go to play-action pass when they need it.
1st and 10. Williams, left guard, dances, gets a couple out to the 44. Jim Merritt's made the tackle for the Mountaineers. 2nd down, 8 yards to go. 11 minutes and 40 seconds to play in this game. I tell you, the Nittany line is flanked by much better looking people than I am. No offense, Ben.
You're talking about people to your left.
People to my left. 2nd down and 8. Foul comes left. Got Williams on a wing left. Strang wants to throw. Does. Got his man. Good for a 1st down at the West Virginia 46. Kenny Jackson with a reception. And now Newberry and Jackson get into a bit of a pushing and shoving match. And Williams, or rather Jackson, may get flagged if he doesn't calm down.
Well, Jackson's got a right to complain. Now, this is a great call. Now, what happens is 2nd and short, single coverage. They know Penn State's going to run the ball to try to control the clock. And here it comes, single coverage on Jackson. He puts it out there for the 1st down. This is what possibly could have been called unnecessary roughing. Possibly.
It could have, but after there was no call, Jackson actually shoved the referee, and that's where you get into trouble. Kind of like your next-door neighbor. Do not touch. 1st and 10 to 46, and a big Penn State 1st down. Williams, nothing. Anthony Daniels, strong safety, really came up hard at the line of scrimmage. No gain. It'll be 2nd down and 10. 10:45 to play. Penn State clinging to an 8-point, 31-23 lead.
And you can see what's going on in the coach's mind. Penn State wants to get close enough for another 3. Coach Nealon says they're going to run the ball. They want to kill the clock. So he's bringing the safety up, and they're playing 3 deep. In other words, they're playing man-to-man, of course, on 3 deep situations, telling Penn State to throw the ball.
2nd down and 10.
Now they go to 4 deep on a passing situation.
Play fake. Strang with time over the middle. It is incomplete. Intended across the middle. Penn State wanted a call on West Virginia's Ed Hughes for pass interference on Nichols, but they do not get it. That'll bring up 3rd down and 10. Penn State has been excellent on 3rd down conversions, completing 10 out of 13. Strang now has completed 14 of 24 for 169 yards.
Well, West Virginia brings in Dixon and Ash in their nickel defense. Let's see how Penn State adjusts to this.
Well, Penn State would certainly need at least a 1st down to even think about field goal. Dozier comes in the game for the Nittany Lions. Strang. Screen pass. Dozier. Got room. 40, 35. He's a 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, DJ Dozier.
Great call.
First time Dozier's touched the ball all day.
Now let's watch this. They throw a screen off here to the short side of the field. McGinnis, he lays it on Scott. Now he takes it. You give this kid enough room, breaks it back. He uses Jackson beautifully. Jackson handles Newberry, and he's just a super back, this kid.
Strang's 3rd touchdown pass of the day, 13th of the year. Gansitano with the extra point attempt. It is up and good. So DJ Dozier touches the ball once and catches a touchdown screen pass from Doug Strang. There's a timeout in the action. The score, Penn State 38, West Virginia 23. 2nd down and 10, Mountaineers, their own 46-yard line. Keep in mind, they've come into this game undefeated, ranked 4th in the nation in the Associated Press Bowl. There are scouts from both the Sugar and Orange Bowls here. Normally they're here to watch Penn State. Today they are watching West Virginia. 2nd down and 10. Here's the reverse to Mullen. Nobody ahead of him. Sefter's got him and dropped him for a loss at the 42-yard line. Sefter never left home. Waited and dropped him for a 4-yard loss. It'll be 3rd and 14.
That's a bad call, Stan. Penn State obviously has this play defense. Now watch Sefter play off the block. He sees from his right eye that Mullins is going to run the reverse. He stays in, forces it back to the inside. Not only that, he makes the play himself. Penn State's problem was the ball coming across the middle. They got to get some help deep across the middle.
Sefter, a senior from New Cumberland, Pennsylvania. 3rd down and 14 yards to go. Here comes Manoa. Hostetler throwing. He's got his man wide over the middle. He's down to the 30, the 29-yard line. Boy, did Hostetler stand tall. And he hit his man, Wayne Brown. Cunningham made the tackle, but a big conversion on 3rd down and long.
Well, there it is, left to right. Coming across the middle, and only a 3-man rush. And Brown has it, catching it wide open for a 1st down.
A 30-yard gain, and Hostetler is now passed for 272 yards. Keeper, Hostetler throwing into the corner. Through hand back to cover on the play. Good defensive pressure by Steve Sefter, who did not allow Hostetler the time he needed to set up.
That was a bootleg. That was going to go bootleg and get single coverage on the corner man, and Sefter's not been fooled once today. It was a great defensive play. Now, he just stays at home. So you watch the flow go away. A bootleg is when flow comes away and the quarterback comes the other way, and Sefter makes him throw. He's trying to get deep one-on-one coverage, but he had to throw it away. But again, it's across the middle that Penn State's getting burned. They have to go after him.
2nd down and 10 from the Penn State 28. Drury in motion to the far side.
Here they come.
Randolph is hit in the backfield by Caraher and dropped for a loss. Wasn't a smooth handoff, and Karaher really bolted across the line of scrimmage. He drops Randolph for a 4-yard loss, and again, it'll be 3rd and 14.
All right, they come on a blitz. Karaher comes in clean. Randolph, not a good handoff. Wouldn't have made any difference because he was in there clean.
Now, West Virginia must get a touchdown here because a field goal does them no good. They are trailing by 15 points, and there are only 7 minutes and 40 seconds to play in the game. Here it is, 3rd down and 14.
Here they come again.
Over the middle, and it is incomplete. Bookman covering Todd Fisher. Fisher had it, then let it loose.
But Stanley had a lot of pressure. The ball was thrown a little in front of him, but let's say it was a bad throw, but the pressure certainly helped. All right, they come a little bit from the top of the screen. They pick it up a little better this time, West Virginia. Now, this ball could have been caught, but it was thrown a little bit in front of the receiver.
Bookman, a freshman from Whitehall, Pennsylvania, outside Pittsburgh. This, most likely, is your football game here. 4th down and 14. Blitz. Ostefler throwing over the middle, incomplete. It was intended for Gary Mullen, thrown behind him. Penn State is held. They'll take the ball with 7:28 to play. Penn State will now bring on George Reynolds, who has punted only once all day long, and that was with a minute to play in the first half. He will try to kick this thing out of bounds. The first time he punted, he kicked it out of bounds, or was down at the 2-yard line. Newberry is back deep. West Virginia may be trying for the block here. Reynolds gets it away. Newberry calls fair catch, but he'll let it roll, and it does bounce into the end zone. Oh, it's a 43-yard punt by Reynolds. Didn't get the bounce that time. 3 minutes, 48 seconds to play in the game. West Virginia down 2 touchdowns. Will have it at their 20. There's a timeout of the action. The score: Penn State 38, West Virginia 23. We'll be back right after this.
In the West.
3:48 to play. Ostefler throwing deep over the middle. He is intercepted. Mark Fruhan. The 45, the 40, and he's down at the 41-yard line. The pass intended for Willie Drury, but it was a bit too tall, and Mark Fruhan makes his first interception. Gary Mullen made the tackle, but if there was any doubt, there is no doubt any longer.
Well, they try to come across the middle of Drury. This time he overthrew it a little bit. Mark Fruhan gets a gift and gives him a chance to run with every defensive back likes to get a hand on it. You'll see it here. The ball, again, coming across the middle. A little high for Drury. Into the hands of Fruhan. Takes it. Makes a good move here. Tries to get back upfield. Penn State's really in prime position now.
Only Hostetler's 4th interception of the year. And we've got a fan who has had a bit too much soft drink, who was escorted off the field. There he is, West Virginia fan. I don't know, is he one of the assistant coaches? He walked right in there like he belonged. John Nealon certainly doesn't need his help, nor does he appreciate it, I'm sure. Well, Penn State now will try to chew up the rest of the clock. Williams looking for 100 yards. 35, 30, 25, 20. On his feet to the West Virginia 15-yard line. The gain is 25, and you betcha Williams has got 100 yards. A.G. saved the touchdown with the tackle.
This is the best I've seen Jonathan Williams look. Now, he makes a great cut here since the Notre Dame game last year, 2 years ago. Now, look at the cut. Oh, man, he really, he's keyed up. He's pumped up. Takes almost breaks it, almost takes it all away. Great running by Jonathan Williams. Takes him over 100 yards.
110 to be exact on 23 carries. First down and 10 at the 15-yard line. 3 minutes, 10 seconds to play in the game. Alford in motion. Mumford driving hard to the 10-yard line. Tony Mumford picks up 5. Ed Hughes made the tackle. It'll be 2nd down and 5 at the West Virginia 10. That's hard to say, George, but I guess you'd have to say that this is Penn State's best game of the year, even better than the Alabama performance.
Oh, by far, because they played better football. In Alabama, they got a few breaks. Here they played, super offense and really solid defense. It's not spectacular, but solid defense.
Well, there's not much question as to who was the better team on this afternoon. 2nd down and 5 at the 10. Williams in trouble, loses a shoe. He's going to be stopped at the 10-yard line for no gain. Let's see where they rule his forward. Proctor's was stopped. Tough enough to run against West Virginia's defense with both shoes.
Well, if Penn State came with the bootleg.
Excuse me, George, there's a flag down also.
In the secondary.
Stops the clock, 2:19 to play. Here's the call. Personal fouls against both clubs, nullifying each other. They mark the ball out of bounds on Williams' run to the 12. It's a loss of 2, so it'll bring up 3rd down and 7 yards to go.
Well, I'm the type of, used to be the type of a coach. It's never over because, don't know what could happen. If I was Joe Paterno, I'd certainly try to get at least 3 more points out of this. A bootleg action or something like that could be very effective.
And when we resume, the penalties having no effect on the play. Loss of 2 for Williams. It'll be 3rd down, 7 yards to go. Now we've got a timeout. Steve Sefter played a marvelous football game, as did Greg Gattuso, I might add.
Well, the whole defense played solid. They didn't give up too many big plays. They gave up a few plays, but it was a great, so far, if it ends this way, it's been their best game, which we felt they would arise to the occasion.
Although West Virginia was down in Penn State territory numerous occasions, on 3 occasions, Penn State defense forced West Virginia to settle for the field goal. 3rd and 7. Nichols gets to the 10, perhaps to the 9. That'll bring up 4th down. And I would think we will see Nick Gancitano to push the margin to 18 points, thus assuring West Virginia could not come back with 2 touchdowns.
Well, you'd almost have to, because 16 points can beat you. That's 2 touchdowns. And with all right, in this way, you put it out of reach. You can't worry about a blocked field goal, when you're on the 10-yard line.
Of course, the last time Penn State tried a field goal to increase the lead for a touchdown, Alabama blocked it. But this one is fairly well in the bag. There's only 1:40 to play. And Penn State will call timeout. I'm not so sure that they know exactly what it is they want to do here, George.
Oh, my brother, Joe has a big obsession about not running it up.
Yeah, you're kind of darned if you do and darned if you don't. If you go for it and make it, it looks like you're running it up. You go for the field goal, it looks the same. Although it would push the advantage to 18 points, which of course would nullify any opportunity West Virginia could come back. As it is 15 points, there's always a chance.
Well, that's what I mean. You got to get that extra points. You never know what's going to happen because, God forbid if it does happen the other way, they want to hang you. So you protect the lead enough where you get it out of reach of the other team relative to the time that's left. And 1 minute years ago, 3 minutes on the clock was like it's tough to get 20 yards. Nowadays they put 2-3 scores up.
West Virginia had waited 28 years. They thought that this would be their year, but they will wait yet another 52 weeks. Penn State will extend its 24-game win scheme against West Virginia and a 29-year streak of not having lost. There was one tie. Penn State will set for the field goal. It will be a 27-yarder, almost straight away for Gancitano. Kick is up. Kick is good. Penn State goes across the 40 mark to make it 41-23 with just 1:36 to play. Well, there had to be some doubt, George. although West Virginia was undefeated, about them being the third or fourth best team in the country. You had to wonder. And this was really the game that West Virginia hoped, number one, would end Penn State's streak, but also gain them the national respect. A win over Penn State, regardless of the season's record, always commands respect.
Well, when you catch Penn State in the middle of the season on a 4-game streak on homecoming at home, and obviously at home, you got a tough chore ahead of you. They had not played the competition. I can't understand some of the media stating this is Penn State's worst year because they lost 3 games. In essence, they've been upset by Cincinnati, period. Nebraska and Iowa are excellent football teams. Nebraska might be the best in the country. Iowa, Penn State lost to with a couple of fumbles. So, you know, West Virginia has not faced that type of competition. But even if they did, to try to beat Penn State home on homecoming is a tough chore.
And you talk about out of the frying pan and into the fire. Next week, West Virginia must travel to Miami in the Orange Bowl and the Miami Hurricanes of Howard Schnellenberger. So things are going to get tougher. Montgomery to kick. Harvey and Drury back deep. Montgomery really kicks this one deep out of the end zone. West Virginia will have it at their own 20-yard line. And a bit of a discussion on the sideline. West Virginia obviously feeling the frustration. Penn State moving 30 yards after the interception by Fruhan, setting up the field goal of 26 yards by Gansitano. Minute 36 to play. Penn State's record will be 5-3. They have won 5 games in a row. Next week, the Nittany Lions travel to Boston and to play the Boston College Golden Eagles at Schaefer Stadium in Foxborough. And Kevin White has come in at quarterback for West Virginia, replacing Jeff Hostetler. Hostetler finishes the day completing 18 out of 29 for 272 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. There's a fumble, and Gattuso has it. Mix up in the handoff, and Greg Gattuso was right there to fall on it. King Harvey did not get it cleanly, and as I said, Gattuso really has played an outstanding game today, along with Scepter on the defensive front. And so Penn State now with a minute 31 can run out the clock.
Well, you know, White's first exchange, and Harvey bumped into his outside shoulder there. Gattuso was there from his defensive tackle position, and Penn State's in scoring position again. Now, be interesting to see what Joe does. I know he's going to keep it on the ground, but
John Schaefer is now the quarterback, the freshman from Cincinnati. And there's a pitch to Sid Lewis, and he better fall on it, and he does. Nope, he didn't. And West Virginia has recovered.
You got 2 quarterbacks, Dan, right?
2 young quarterbacks who do not get much playing time, although it should be said that White is a junior. I mean, he's been around. Schaefer, of course, he's played a little bit this year, too. But the pitch back to Sid Lewis was a bit high. Matt Smith recovered for West Virginia. So they'll try it again with a minute and 25 to play in the game. Of course, most of the people here would have liked to have seen Penn State score another touchdown, but unless the hole's open very wide, Joe Paterno was certainly going to keep the ball on the ground. So White, the junior from Casa Grande, Arizona, rolling, faced by Gattuso, throws over the middle, intercepted by Penn State. Mike Zornick with the interception, still on his feet, and he's going to be down at the 45-yard line. So we've had 3 plays in a row and 3 turnovers in a row.
Well, that's an experience. White both times. At that time, he just threw the ball up for a crowd. Obviously, Penn State had about 7 people dropped off. And Zordich, who's going to be a great safety in a realm or the likes of Mark Robinson, he's just learning the position, picks it off here. Blue fake to the inside to Harvey. Now watch this. Now watch. You know, Zordich just comes in. It's overthrown. Of course, when you're on the field, you want to get as many points as you can.
Here's Lewis. He's hit in the backfield. He's dropped for a 1-yard loss to the 47. Ernie Anderson, nose guard, makes the tackle. It'll be 2nd and 11. I doubt that West Virginia would use any of their timeouts. They have 3 left, but we're under a minute to play. Penn State should run out the clock. Bill Emerson in at fullback. Steve Smith in the backfield. Lewis goes to a wing to the right, or the left. This is Steve Smith, who's playing fullback now. He gets a yard to the 46. Derek Christian makes his tackle. There are 30 seconds to play. There will be one more play from scrimmage, and that will do it. And for the second time in the last 3 weeks, Penn State has knocked off an undefeated team that was ranked in the top 5. 2 weeks ago was Alabama. This week, it is Penn State. And the crowd is coming on the field. Penn State does not have to get off another snap if they do not want. There's fans all over the field. There's still a play to go. Here's Lewis. He gets to the 45, and he's dropped, and that will do it. Daniels makes the tackle. And for the second time in the last 3 weeks, Penn State, an underdog at home, has come up with a big win. This time there are no officials called for people to complain about. Penn State, obviously the better team, has defeated the Mountaineers of West Virginia 41-23. The end of the game, the final score, Penn State 41, West Virginia 23. We'll be back right after this. The dreams of the West Virginia Mountaineers are shattered before a record Beaver Stadium crowd of over 86,000 as Penn State defeats West Virginia 41-23. It is a mythical title, one which many people outside the East are not aware of, but it's called Beast of the East, a title that Penn State has laid claim to for the last 25 years or so, and it was not to be for West Virginia. They'll have to wait the 29th year to beat Penn State.
Well, Stan, Penn State has not acted like the Beast of the East so far this year, and West Virginia has, and they came in here expecting to find a pussycat, and they found a real tiger, and Penn State played like the old type Penn State teams and kind of devoured the upcoming West Virginians. It was the best game that Penn State played by far this year. You had a great balanced offense. Both quarterbacks were super. You can't see a better game offensively as far as the quarterbacks are concerned. They balanced each other out. Penn State's running game kind of, I think, was a changing force in the game where they were able to control the ball and get some points that way, and their defense played a solid game, if not spectacular. It was a well-earned victory for Penn State and certainly puts them back into the spotlight again.
Well, one of the key things in the game, I thought, were that 3 opportunities West Virginia was forced to settle for field goals as the Penn State defense twice held them to 3 points. The other time, of course, West Virginia gave it away themselves, especially on the motion penalty on the goal line. And it seemed like every time West Virginia was going to grab the momentum, Penn State took it right back away from them.
Well, that's the type of game it was. I thought West Virginia was a little tight coming into the game, which you could expect. They hadn't beaten Penn State in such a long time. There was a lot of pressure on Hostetler as the quarterback, and you're playing Penn State at homecoming, and they're a tough team to beat at any time. But I was happy to see, being the coach is my brother, and we work for the Penn State Network, that the Penn State's defense came alive and made some big plays, and that set the trend for the game in the second half, and it looks like they'll be awfully tough for the rest of the year.
West Virginia's record drops to 6-1. Penn State wins their 5th game in a row. Their record now 5-3. Once again, the final score, Penn State defeating the Mountaineers of West Virginia 41-23. USA's College Football 83 has been brought to you by Mobile One Synthetic Motor.